G'day, guys and girls. This episode is proudly brought to you by our sponsors, suppshq.com.au. Use the code BWB10 at checkout for direct shipping and 10% off.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Bros with Brains, here with myself, Mr. Aaron Scarfy. I thought I'd introduce myself first just to see if you'd say anything. And Mr. Benjamin Button Mayfield from the Land of the Queen.
G'day, listeners.
We are well, good sir. How are you?
Mate, I'm good. I'm loving life. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh. Hunger's barely kicking in.
I was gonna say it means you haven't dieted hard enough.
Yeah.
It's like I feel good. You haven't dieted hard enough, bro.
No. See, I feel good when I come off heavy growth phases, and all of a sudden I'm starting to tighten up. So I'm like seeing lines. So my feeling good is relative to my tightness. So I start to feel good. That starts to tighten up and kick in. So that to me is like, yeah, my blood pressure's down, my resting heart rate's down, my training intensity's up, my utilization of food is increasing. So that leads to me feeling good, because there's a period there where you go through your growth phase and you're like, is life worth it? Is this a good idea? Is this something I need to do?
Yeah,
we need yes, and you do it.
We need that from day one, week one. That's what we're looking for in prep. Otherwise, what's the point? Prep's not meant to be easy. Make it harder for yourself.
Correct.
Yes, I'll make it harder for you when I come up there. Prep too.
Yeah, it's good.
You're gonna come join me for a round of golf when I come up there?
Yeah, give me some balls. We'll go play golf.
Yeah, you're gonna come up and hit 18. See how we go.
I mean, it'll take 5 hours to get through 9, so
yeah.
I don't even know what my thoracic rotation is good enough like.
That's what was funny, because I'm keen for Topgolf because it's still Topgolf. I haven't done that yet, so that'd be fun up there. But then like when I messaged you and said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to try and get a round in up there," and you're like, "Yeah, get me out of some work," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, if you want to come, this should be fun."
I counts my steps for the day.
Literally, you know how many steps you get in an 18 fucking hole? Like you get like at least 15,000. It's insane. It's a big day. It's a big day of walking, man. I usually cart it on an 18. On a 9, I'll walk and I get about 8 to 10, about 8,000. But on an 18, just because of time.
As long as I can just load the place with Pepsi Max, I'm fine.
Oh yeah, 100%. Usually, if you do get a cart, they actually have, some of them, depending on where you go, they actually have like a little esky on them. You just put drinks in there, a couple of beers, and right to go, mate. Good times. I can swing and just yell out 4 for no reason. I haven't even hit the ball yet. Don't worry about it. I'm calling it early.
Just throwing clubs at you.
Yeah.
Look out, dickhead.
Yeah, pretty much.
I believe that's Mr. Happy's jacket.
Yeah, somebody learned how to putt.
I will make so many Happy Gilmore references. That's the whole reason I'm going.
Right, keen. If I can, one of the listeners was saying, if I send you a Happy Gilmore polo, do it, and I'll get Ben to record me playing. I'll wear the polo.
Yep, fair call. Do it.
Just got to get it. But anyway,
send it in the next 2 weeks.
Hopefully
they'll come faster than your golf clubs.
Bro, don't even get me started. One of the questions again is my golf clubs coming in. They still haven't come in.
My lapel rocked up from China that was 6 weeks late, and it's still your golf clubs.
Yeah, and I think these clubs are not being made in China, so like they're not being put together in China. So
I'll be getting some money back.
Oh, no, there's always at the moment, because of COVID, especially down here, because you wouldn't know what a lockdown is up there because you never experienced them. So here in Melbourne, where we
14 days, fuck you,
where we got locked down for 10 years, basically golf was the only sport you could go out and actually physically do during lockdown because of the whole social distancing and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, so they allowed you to go play golf. They're like, if you want to go play golf,
bad then. What are you talking about?
Right, I didn't play golf during lockdown, but everyone else did, and it took off. So since then, everyone's been playing golf, and golf is like the sport that has just gone exponentially grown here in Victoria because that's all the fuck you could do when we were in lockdown. So he's like, yeah, like everyone, every time I go to the golf shop, they're just like, yeah, still haven't come in. I'm like, no, I'm not here for that. Like, I feel like they think that I'm going in to hassle them. I'm like, I'm not. I'm spending my money on other useless shit that I'm going to put in my bag, which everyone warned me would happen, but that's fine.
It's like people when they start riding bikes or doing triathlons, like I won't buy all the stuff.
Dude.
Next week you got lycra and fucking new bike pedals and cleats and fucking.
Do you know how much it costs to buy 12 golf balls? Like depending on which ball you buy, $70 to $80 for 12. And guess how many you guess? Yeah, if you want to get the good ones, guess how much? Guess how many you lose on course?
12.
On average. 25, but that's fine. Like I'm in debt as soon as I walk onto the second hole. I'm done.
I'm in negative of balls.
Literally, like you got to put. So it's like it's funny because the pros when they play. You can play with a maximum of 12 balls, right?
Yeah, right.
They play with like 3. They don't lose them either. Like it's very rare that a pro loses a ball.
That's what qualifies you for being a pro. How many balls you lose, not your par.
Honestly, when I ask people like at the gym when I'm coaching, like I'll ask a couple of them play golf. It's like, oh, did you get out on the weekend? They're like, yeah, played real shit. I'm like, yeah, but how many balls did you lose? And they're like, none. I'm like, that's a win, dude. That's a win because I lost 3. Like, and that's actually a win for me too. So like, we're good.
I've cut my ball losses in half from 6.
Man, the first round I played, the first round I played, I think I lost like 9. The first 18 holes, I didn't realize until I got back. I counted how many that I originally put in and how many I've taken out. I'm like, oh fuck, I lost a lot here. But yeah, I now upgraded the ball because I was using cheap ones, and now I've upgraded, and now it's just like, mate, I will go hawk finding those.
Billy Madison jump into the alligator's face,
dude. Legit, like I'll do it. I don't care for these balls, man. Fucking done. Like rattlesnake, fucking Animal Farm, man, done. I don't care. I am getting in there to get my ball.
My bitch back,
dude. I played at a course down here like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Where the green was, open wildlife, kangaroos. Like 25 of them sitting around. My ball was like in the middle of this group of kangaroos. I'm just eyeballing them like, don't even think about it. I need to play this shot because I'm about to play for par right now.
All of you?
Yeah, like I'm about to play the whole of my life in this first ever course that I've ever played where I've lost 10 balls already. I'm about to play a legit par. Like I'm on here and I played to par. It was great.
That's brilliant.
Should have high-fived the kangaroo.
Just end up TikTok Aussie man fights kangaroo.
I wouldn't have high-fived the kangaroo after playing a great shot. It would have been a rip.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, hard. But anyway.
Oh, good shit.
Literally what's been happening. That's what's been going on in my life.
That's fair. I mean, you know what annoyed the absolute, that was like a full Danny, what's the name? What's the guy? Oh, Jesus Christ. I have an absolute brain freeze.
Good chat.
That's cool. That's the podcast, guys. See you later.
Moving on.
So we did that Instagram live the other day. That was pretty cool. That was really good. There was like a bunch of questions in there. There was like 10 people watching us train at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I think most of us wanted to see if we actually train as hard as I make my clients train and then cry. And then we did.
Yeah. Your hair looked too good. It still wasn't messy. So
got to keep appearances. In the podcast, I've got to keep it good in real life. So that was interesting. Yeah, we got through like shit ton of questions, like drop some knowledge bombs in there. That was fine, no issues. Get to like it was like the hour half mark.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it comes up on Instagram, your live is being canned due to copyright.
Because the music.
Yeah, to pick up a song. And then instead of giving us the option to save it, it just cancels the whole thing. It was like, it cuts out. It cut out. And I was like, what do you mean? So you did like an hour's worth of questions trained. Like, I don't train like that every day. So that was for show.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't put that on again.
Yeah, 100%. It was like, that's the only session I've ever done for Instagram. Otherwise, it's always one set and I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they're like, didn't even give us the option to save it or anything. And then was like, I went back through the Instagram reels to try and find it, like my IGTV to find it. Nothing.
Nah, that's gone.
How do you go through something like a live option where people do recordings, talk all the time, and music cuts in and it's going to delete the whole thing? We didn't claim ownership of the song. We didn't claim to be the song. We didn't claim to use the song.
It doesn't work. The algorithm doesn't work that way, mate.
The algorithm can honestly suck an absolute fat one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. It's like when you get the message, the notification from a post that you posted 3 years ago with music in the background. It's like, oh, we're deleting this video because it infringes on copyright law. You're like, I posted this thing 3 years ago. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. This whole like
challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
that was interesting. We also almost put holes in the wall based on new. How do I put it politely so not everyone's offended?
Offend everyone, do it.
Offend everyone? Okay, cool. The woke mob has inhibited us from marketing client progression.
Oh, yeah, bro. You're old, mate. For those of us who know Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, and social media marketing.
No. We know that.
You cannot post a transformation photo.
No, there's ways. Brooklyn does it.
Yeah, there are ways, but the traditional stock standard
way. The traditional way doesn't work. Never work.
Yes.
We got past that. We moved on from that one. Yes. That we knew was shit. There was other ways, but what it did was it picked up on language and words.
Yeah.
Not the content. Brooklyn managed to hide that. That was fine.
Yeah. That's how you word
words, it. Yeah. The words, mind you, were weight training.
Yep.
Strength, fitness, health. Like, oh God, what else was there?
Fitspo.
No, it wasn't Fitspo.
No, I'm joking.
It didn't even have hashtags this one.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's triggered. That's how it works because people get offended by people actually doing well. It literally
says this may cause triggering content.
Yeah, people. Dude, do you not remember when I posted a video of me doing calf raises and it put a censorship over my calves because I think it thought it was a veiny penis?
It's so small.
Last year I put it. Well, that too. I put it in my stories, and people were screenshotting the story and sending it to me like, "Do you know this? This is what comes up." I'm like, "What?" It was me doing. It was a video because I did a calf calf anatomy week or whatever. So I did. Yeah. I put calf the anatomy blah blah blah, and put the video doing calf raises. And it deleted the photo. Like it didn't delete. Sorry, it censored the video because it thought that it was like an image that needed to be censored. I just laughed. I'm like, I'm sorry. Don't know if I'm offended or if I am.
Like we're at a point now where your decision of the freedom of certain people to not be offended potentially comes at the cost of my right to be able to promote the great work that people I'm working with are doing, which is not to boast about. What's the word? It's not to boast about how someone's better than you or better than this person because they got leaner or they changed their life. Most of my content really doesn't even consist of like, hey, this person lost X amount of body fat. It's like, this is how the matter system helps you progress life alongside, and as a byproduct is better physique, better mental state, better understanding of nutrition and training. Like it's a byproduct of what we do overall. And that's generally the theme of the content, which was the content we're trying to share in the back end. So we're onto the actual ad manager stuff. And like, the idea that the potentiation of someone being triggered is costing us the ability to promote that. But mind you, no dramas promoting the absolute crap out of the body positivity movement where borderline type 5 obesity is healthy and acceptable. Yeah, that's fine to put on every ad.
Yeah, you can't monetize a body transformation. So you can post it, you just can't bump it, and you can't make it as a paid advertisement.
Which is blows my mind. I'm trying to pay you money to simply promote like how good my clients are doing, and you're like, no.
But they'll take your money.
Yeah. Won't upsearch or anything.
Yeah, they just won't promote it. We'll take your money.
It reached 20 people. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah, so that was our next hurdle. So it's going to be another interesting process of like working around all of that as things happen. So we're actually going to be trialing for when you come up. We've got a guy we're going to be trialing doing a chat with regarding videography and content. So one of the things I try to do, and one of the things I try to stick with, is kind of, if you come with me and you support me, I support you and you come with me. Like I don't have small plans for matter. I never have. The people that get in now are people that are either contributing or supportive or along for the ride. And so, we're trying to find a guy long-term to do a lot more videography and whatnot up here, like direct videography and recording. He does the full tilt, this guy. So he apparently does like the full edits, updates, does all the shit that I don't want to do. So we're going to get rather than try and play on the whole body composition marketing, we're going to play on like the actual training intensity marketing. So just record some like training content, like some actual, not on my phone training content.
Actually record some training.
Yeah, actually record some training.
Like we did here.
What's that?
Like we did here.
Yeah, and just put some like cool music over it and shit, and actually make it like this is the intensity you start with. This is where you finish when you come to us. So that's going to kind of be like the next thing. He'll probably be up here when you get up here. If he's on board, we'll have him try out.
You can follow us around the golf course as well.
You want to just follow us around for 6 hours today? Like, that's cool.
Literally, right? Like we'll do training session and then golf.
Yeah, training session, burgers with Nick, golf.
Yeah, we have got your day covered.
Yeah. We'll pay you $50.
Strap in because the $50 is going to be worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's exciting for us, but trying to get that going because there's gonna be a lot more content and stuff to come out like we've been talking about. We'll let all the listeners catch up to that one day when it's happening. But yeah, so having that
things are in the works.
Yes, having that in play is going to be a big contributor to what the Matter Tube does soon too. I'm about to start that. That's going to be another thing.
Matter Tube. Look at him already titling things. And
so
copyright.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, we're doing that and getting it up to a bit more like single point topics, a bit more like what's his name, Huberman. I'm not going to talk about knees over toes and
please don't be that guy.
Icing my balls and stuff to try and eat butter to try and promote testosterone, to try and promote testosterone.
Yeah, don't do that, guys.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. We'll actually talk about just like stick to my field of things and lanes and where I should stay.
Yeah, don't ice your balls either.
Yeah, I mean you can. It's just not great.
Yeah, it doesn't increase testosterone either, so it's fine. So stupid.
Yeah, so that's what's going on up here. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
Good. It's all happening.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I keep thinking, like, what are we going to talk about? And I found something that really annoys me, and I keep forgetting to mention it.
Yes.
Tell me, do you have any good physios up there?
We've got like.
It's okay. You can say no. It's not a trick question.
I'd say two. Right. I know two.
Yeah, do physios that do they actually like promote content on Instagram and try to promote educational, like by potentially showing parts of the session, for example? So when they treat someone, they'll stick the camera down, record a little bit, and then they fast forward it and they upload it into their stories or whatever, right?
No.
Nah, we've got a few of them down here, right? And it's cool. Like they'll put up some educational posts and like all that stuff. And the funny thing is, they all have the one thing in common: they're all physios, and this is why I don't really like. I think I can pick 3 physios that I know and trust that can do their job well. And the rest of you, sorry if you're listening, you're fucking retarded. But I'm going to explain why. Because I will not make an outrageous claim without any like actual backing.
I like it. Okay? I like it.
I'm not that guy. Now, obviously, this isn't research-based because it's anecdotal, but that's fine. You'll get over it. Every time these physios post on Instagram that they're treating someone, it is the same fucking treatment for every single fucking person. Like they do some massage. Cool. You do cupping. For what fucking reason? There's no science to show that your cupping does fuck all. Don't start with me. Like, you stupid retards. Then you do needling. Again, no fucking reason to do needling. Like, there is no fucking electro needling. They put some fucking wires attached to it and they zap you with it. Again, no fucking reason. And then they finish with like some little T-spine stretch rotational shit. The thing is, it's not one physio who has that as like their treatment plan for the same. Apparently, you can go in with a foot problem, you're still going to get the treatment. Like, don't worry about it. You could have a fucking fuck shoulder, you're still going to get the same treatment. You're going to get all this shit done, right? Like, whatever, cool. Like, you guys are stupid. But it's not just one physio. It's like 4 of them, 5 of them. And I don't know if they know each other. Maybe they do. Maybe they all went to the same
course.
Did they all get the same degree? Like, I don't know. Like, in what world do you use the same treatment plan for differing pathologies?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, you don't. I work in rehab, or I used to anyway, once upon a time. Exercise physiologist here. Like, you are taught to treat the patient in front of you and apply the correct thing to the patient and the problems that they're having. Not apply your own method of treatment to every single person when they're presenting with different pathologies. Mm-hmm. You morons. Sorry, that's about it. One and done. It was really annoying me. I saw it again the other day. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That's fair.
Like, you come to me with a calf issue and I'm just going to put some needles in your back because that'll solve it. Like, that's what's happening.
Make sure there's some test in those needles.
That's what's happening. Like, these guys are going in like, oh, I tore my hamstring, and they come out with a fucking cupping on their left shoulder. Fucking why? Like, don't even
on the
try
left to right back.
Yeah, don't even try and present to me with slings. Like, slings don't work that way. like fuck, man. Like, I get it. Like, I get people enjoy needling and cupping, and it makes them feel from a psychological perspective. I understand that, and I don't disagree with that. It's kind of like static stretching. We know it does fuck all, but if it puts you in the right frame of mind to do the task at hand, go for it. We don't discredit that. But to give everybody the same fucking treatment and probably charge them an arm and a leg, thinking that it's doing something, like at least show the treatment of the whatever was happening, or show like how you were potentially correcting or help correct the issue at hand at the start. And then if you want to put that as part of your little, treatment thing at the end because it makes them feel good, go for it. I'm not opposed to that. But when that's all you promote, like we have a problem, because I would like to think that there is some form of like specific or more specific treatment that's beforehand that maybe they don't show. Hey, if that's the case, then I sit corrected. I apologize. However, until I see that, you're morons. So yeah, that's that. I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand in what world you'd give the same fucking treatment. That's like me giving you a bicep curl when you have a torn bicep. Like, just because I can do a bicep curl, I'm going to make you do the bicep curl.
Yes.
That's stupid.
That's why we don't have templated programs.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Anyway.
See, yeah, up here, like there's probably two where I send most of my clients to, and there's been a few that have presented with problems, but I've worked directly with that guy as recommendation from Dolt, and Dolt would I work with that guy on recommendation from would have been Wheels with Flex. So this guy was more so, and this is the only physios I respect, ones that promote their plan in conjunction with the already existing program, not, hey, ignore your PT or your online coach or anyone else. They're all retarded, don't know anything. Just do what I say, don't do anything else. Yeah, if you're going to limit someone to no extra movement, bar the thing you're talking about, or you've got fucking ACL, or you've got like tendinopathy, all that sort of shit. We're not going to do anything else until this is fixed. What? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's your solution? I'm going to do everything else, bar that thing that's going to trigger that. I'm going to work on strengthening that or fixing that issue. Then I'll go back to training it. I'm not going to avoid the rest of my programming for this one issue. Yeah. Those are the ones that I can't stand. And then probably end up doing company and other stuff. But there's
like, we're going to release your chakras.
I know a gym they can go to. I'm probably
for those that are listening, I'm just doing like the yoga? What's this called?
Oh god, I don't even know the meditation pose. Like,
pose, the meditation pose. That's call it that.
Yeah, like there's one who I'm going to be doing a lot of close work with, and he's just got a start at a pretty decent gym, but he's going to be doing a lot more hands-on movement assessment for me, people I can't see in person. Mm-hmm. So I'll be sending to him. He will assess movement. He will assess things. Okay, does this person, when they say they feel a squat, are they feeling a squat? When they say they do this, they feel properly. They're hinging where I want them to. Then I'm going to set up a networking system whereby he's getting clients, but at the same time, like he's bringing my clients back to me with a better understanding. They're moving better. And obviously any issues, okay, cool, they're going to imbalances, something like that. Sweet, we'll program that in. Not a big deal. He's not overriding my programming. He's not providing the same method to every single person. And if there are issues, I know to send them to him for the fact they'll be in conjunction with my programming. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
If you're saying like, I've had specialists and stuff, like even for me, when I had my spinal issues, like 10 years ago, every specialist said the same thing. All right, don't do anything. Skip these. We're going to do this. And I was like, that's dumb. I'm not going to do any of that. Like I'll do the things that are going to fix it, but I'm not stopping everything. Because sedentary lifestyle has been the solution to problems for so long.
Yeah, I'm happy for, a therapist of any kind, whether that be an osteo, physio, chiro, myo, whatever, to help suggest things as well. Yes. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, even if you don't have a strength training background, obviously it's preferred considering it's what we do. But there are those that sit outside the bell curve, as always, that, do have a very good brain. Mm-hmm. And, I'm always happy to listen to suggestions and work collaboratively. Yes. But like you just said, if someone sort of steps in and's like, well, we're going to do this, and this because this doesn't work. It's like, well, do you know who I am? Or like, have you heard of me? No, I'm kidding. Like, you should probably speak to the people and like the coaches, especially. And I'm lucky now that even this morning, I actually got a message from one of my clients. Her physio actually sent me a message on Instagram, said, look, your client presented with this, and this. I've given him this, and this. And if you want to give him anything, let me know. I'm like, nah, that works for me. I like it. Cool. Go for it. Thank you for telling me.
Yes.
Not saying I'm going to do this, and this, and we're not going to do anything that you've programmed. It's like,
And the thing is too, like, even though we have such degrees of education, don't get me wrong, I'm not denying someone's degree or bachelor's. I don't have one. That's not my thing. That's what I'm saying. it's like the assumption becomes that like X specificity profession trumps online coach or trumps coach, regardless of your degree of education. Or you're the online coach. My field trumps yours. Therefore, I'm like, we stop doing your things until this thing is like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not just an online coach. So, and it's like I sort of said to, and like in the past, I've had someone actually do the same thing where they wrote a full program for an ex-client of mine, saying that like basically going over my program and being like, okay, well, you know, we're not going to do this. We're going to get you to do this instead because this program doesn't facilitate that. And it's kind of like, well, the program facilitated the goal and the injury occurred outside of the goal and the training for the goal. So all I needed was the report so that I could create a new program for the person because that's my job. You've just done my job for me. And then it's like the exercises you've prescribed do not make any sense. And I literally sent like a 3-page email breaking down like each exercise that was prescribed and like why this isn't the case. And then the research articles to back it up and just to piss him off because it was fun.
I was doing a shit, had time to kill.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I didn't get a reply. I know. Very, very rude.
Pussy.
Bad. But I mean, this was like 2 years ago. So these things do happen.
That is fair. Yeah. I mean, like when if you can get a good team around you and like, you know, you have things you can recommend, it's always good. I liked Scotty in Effectus because he'd been pretty well known in powerlifting and lifting up here. He's been pretty respected by pretty much everyone. And every issue I've had or Dalton's had with someone has been around conjunction with programming. Rowan, who's about to jump on with me down the track for another prep, he is going into a facility that I can send people to. So I'll be able to have a good working relationship with some professionals that I trust, that they're not going to override, talk shit, or like undercut or throw me under the bus to try and, you know, either get a client or to say why something's wrong and hold a person back. It's not going to happen. But in instances where you do that, why? Like justify it to me why you think, unless the PT's program, like you look at it and it genuinely puts someone at risk of injury, why you think you get to come in and go, oh, you're paying me once a month to see me? Cool. I'm going to tell you to stop doing everything else you're doing. Yeah. And just wait till you see me. And we're not going to make any progress anywhere else, which will probably inhibit the actual recovery you're trying to achieve, which will probably lead to a lot of mental breakdown and lead to things like depression, reactive depression. And then, you know, you're going to feel like shit. Oh, and then when you
go back to training, it gets even worse.
Because you're going to go back to your old intensity, thinking that's where you still are, and probably risk another injury. So yeah, if you do that, F off.
Yes. It's like when dentists tell you to use toothpaste and certain toothpaste. It's like, but if you're a dentist looking after me, why am I using the toothpaste you recommend? Because I have to keep coming back.
I have said this for so long. Confucius. 9 out of 10 recommend. With 9 out of 10 you're recommending it, and your job is to fix teeth, do I want the thing you're recommending?
Exactly.
Like chances are that mechanic who tells you that your tires are bald and they're brand new and you've got to pay for a whole new set of tires probably has an affiliation with that tire company.
I wonder how many light bulb moments we just gave people.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, hold on. I didn't think of that.
They're onto something here.
It's like, yeah, we've been telling you, but we're going to release a brand of toothpaste? Nah.
Bros with dentures?
Yeah. Bros with brains who don't have teeth.
Bros with plaque build-up.
Yeah. Bros without teeth. Simple. There you go.
Love it.
Let's get into some questions after that fun rant of therapists being useless at their job.
That's fair.
What have we got today? Let's have a look, shall we? Where are we starting? What are the different types of muscle hypertrophy? I swear I read that as what are the 3 different types of muscle hypertrophy. Anyway, what are the different types? There are 2 types. There is myofibril, and then there is sarcoplasmic. So we have basically cellular swelling versus actual tissue gain. We want tissue gain. We don't want cellular swelling. If that's what the question is, I believe. What are the different types of muscle hypertrophy? That's how I interpret it.
Is it referring to what triggers or stimulates?
Well, that's a different question, right? That is. So we're looking at if you're looking at the 3 mechanisms of hypertrophy, you have mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. What are they? Well, mechanical tension is just literally a load on a bar. You have metabolic stress, which is basically physiological stress placed on the energy systems and taxing of the energy systems. And then you have muscle damage, which is just basically that breakdown of protein, which, again, everyone used to think was associated with hypertrophy. It's actually not. It would seem that most research these days actually points in the direction of muscle damage is not indicative of a hypertrophic response. Funnily enough, because science. It's more so the enlarging of the myofibrils and whatnot. So yes, I thought that was pretty cool. Once I got into that research, that was fun.
Yeah, interesting.
Thoughts on the current economic situation in the world? I have no thoughts.
Does it affect my golf clubs?
Man, well, honestly, this is where it affects me the most. I'm not going to lie, right? And you guys are going to be like, what the fuck? But for those that get it, and you'll get it, you'll understand. I did pay $3, maximum $3.50 for a double shot espresso with 1 sugar. Once the price went up to $4.50, I lost my shit.
That's fair.
I'm like, it's a double espresso. It is a bit of coffee with a touch of water.
Yep.
What of that process is more expensive?
Yep.
Like, I didn't ask for more milk.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for nut juice.
I don't think it's costing you any more money for the slaves you have in Colombia.
Yeah, or fucking Ethiopia, or Guatemala, wherever you're getting the
Wherever
beans.
you get your beans from.
Like, are you paying more per bean? Like, I don't. If that's the case, I'm still not paying an extra dollar for the minimal water and coffee bean extract that I get. That's where it pissed me off. I'm like, nah, this is bullshit. Like, I'm happy to pay $3 or $4 more for like a movie ticket. I'll go pay $3 or $4 more.
Yep.
As much as it sucks, like when people were posting, petrol prices, and people are like, oh my God, it cost me this much to fill my tank. Again, people, no one cares. But like, I'm happy to pay that. That's fine. Like, I get it. But the extra dollar on my coffee? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I won't do it.
See, the dumb part to me is always when they like a big organization will try and justify the use of something like, let's say, the war in Ukraine and Russia, and they'll be like, oh, this is leading to inflation causing that. No, it's not. There is, you're just jumping on the price gouge and you're trying to rationalize your costs going up to say that your costs have to go up. Yeah. And there's nothing in the Ukraine and Russia right now that we're getting that should be affecting price, give or take, like some travel maybe on like, what do you call it? Sea lanes, like something potentially, but even still, it doesn't really make sense because nothing really travels through the Black Sea to get here that I know of that we import. But that makes no sense. So these things to be like, oh, this is causing, no, it's not. Most of you are just jumping on the price gouge, and then that flow-on effect is like, well, this person's charging more, so I have to charge more, so I have to charge more. Yeah, I told you, I'm not paying an extra dollar for the coffee. That's fair. I just buy my own unless it's a business thing, and I've
got my own coffee. I have it, but sometimes it's just nice.
Yeah.
It's just nice. You just get out, you just buy a coffee. Nah, not anymore, mate.
Like Starbucks now, because you go for a walk, get morning steps, like 1,600 steps one way, come back, great, 3,200 steps done already. And I'll get an Arabica. So I get like a long black, bit of cinnamon, and a dash of vanilla, sugar free. And it's now like an extra 50 cents for their signature blend, which is an Arabica or a Colombia bean or something. It's darker roast and blah, blah, blah. I'm not paying 50 cents extra for that. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Just give me the coffee bean. It's a long black. It's large. So you're going to give me 3 anyway. I'm not doing it for the taste, really. So I'm not paying an extra 50 cents on top of the already increased price of the coffee.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. It's bullshit. Got me so mad.
Bastards.
They didn't increase my slices of cheese, though, so we're good.
Yeah.
If you could coach any athlete in any sport, past or present, who are you choosing?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Who am I coaching in any sport?
Oh,
this is interesting because it's like, would you want to coach someone that was the best at their sport? It's like, would you be the reason that they got to be the best at their sport, or are you coaching them already at the best, at their peak? So it's like, am I coaching, like, example, I could say like, oh, I'd be the coach that coached Michael Jordan to be the best player of all time. Shut up, Tavi. But am I the coach that coaches Michael Jordan in his peak, not having got into his peak?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, like no one cares. Like I would have loved to have coached like a Roger Federer, for example. Like that would have been sick. But at the same time, like he's going to go down as the best player of all time. So it's like, Like, how do you coach the best how do you coach the best athlete of a sport? Like,
well, I mean, the thing, like knowing Grover and knowing Tim Grover's knowledge, he studied kinesiology, so cool.
Yeah.
He has, listening to him talk about nutrition though, like there's things where like even people I respect, I'll draw the line. I'm like, okay, your opinion on this is basically irrelevant.
Yeah.
Now he was governing Jordan's nutrition stuff as well, and his phasing and things like that for his conversion from basketball to baseball and back and all that sort of jazz. His sizing protocols and stuff to increase muscle mass didn't even consist of like increased calorie intakes. It was more to do with like training programs. So there was extra muscle mass and strength and power that Jordan could have had, where everyone was like saying like, oh, he was getting roughed up and dominated, so he had to get bigger. He could have been bigger. And yes, he was agile and don't want to take away like this, your size to weight ratio, or your speed to weight ratios and things like that, power to weight ratios, and affecting mobility and speed and like vertical jump. But being that he's a basketballer, he probably has faster twitch muscle fibers that are going to be more responsive. So we could have given him better food, better training to enhance that. So could the best have been even better is the question I would ask.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other question would be, could you have taken someone who could have been the best and made them the best?
Better. Yeah, right. So it's why it's an interesting one. So it's like, I would have loved to coach like someone like a Roger Federer.
Yeah.
That'd have been awesome. Like old school Marat Safin.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Nalbandian. A couple of AFL footy players would be been fun as well. But yeah, the context is the tricky part. Who you got?
Fair.
Who you got?
Like I would have loved to have coached like purely someone with a mental work ethic like a Kobe or a Jordan, purely for the fun fact that you could fuck them up and they'd love it. Yeah. And like as long as you can justify to them, which was kind of like their approach, justify me why you're doing it and I'll do it. It's very similar to mine. Justify why I'm doing it and I'll do it. Having someone like that to coach and then potentially making them even better would have been sick. But at the same time, like you've got cool name athletes that could be potential bodybuilding greats that just never nail it or they fuck up, and you get all this bullshit they do that's just simply drug protocols. Like, imagine how much better people like Nick Walker could actually be with legitimate protocols for a reason, not just simply amped up fucking oil injections for no reason. So it's kind of like, if it's outside the realm of bodybuilding, I'd have loved a Jordan or a Kobe coming into that peak where like your programming enhances good already to great, and could have potentially enhanced even more with like longevity and nutrition and better sleep protocols and better training protocols, actually phasing training, peaking for certain reasons. Like that would have all been sick to be able to play around with and justify to them and go through the conversation. That'd probably be in the realms of what I know, having studied S&C and nutrition and all sorts of stuff. That'd probably be. I just can't, like, footy players, like NRL players, aren't that fun to coach directly. They're just.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like some of the AFL players, it'd just be fun to put them in a gym, for example. Not so much skills and stuff like that.
I've watched their S&C, like some of the S&C coaches.
Oh, they're horrible. They're horrible.
When you see movement around like a sport team gym,
you're
like, you're leaving so much in the tank with these fucking movements. Like, what are you doing? You got front rowers that can't even hit like a depth squat. And you're like, bruh, you're trying to build force here, and you hit like a 3/4 squat at best.
Yeah, and then the argument would be, well, you don't need to generate force, blah, 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 blah. But we won't get into that because that's another conversation. RTD supps comparable to powders, and are the calories exact?
What now?
Are RTD supps comparable to powders, and
no,
calories exact?
Not even close. So you have to think about legislation, because powderization has a different restriction to them than available drinks. Canned beverages, which is your RTDs, ready to drink or ready to consume or ready to go, whatever you want to call it. They abide by limitations of governing bodies over liquids and beverages, and that has a different dosing protocol limit than your standard powders. So if you're talking about, say, pre-workouts, you can generally get away with, and they did it for a long time before I think some new legislations come in, you can get away with having more per serve or per scoop, versus a single drink is limited by Australia's current limitations governing caffeine and stimulants inside the drink, which, funnily enough, everyone, this is how monopolies work. No one had made an energy drink in Australia before Red Bull. Red Bull came over here and they trademarked and patented the dose, then applied through the House of Reps, and basically put through legislation to limit the amount of caffeine that can be in a drink as theirs to be the max. So all those drink companies that got in trouble was because they exceeded that total dose it's based on a percentage of
liquid, isn't it?
Yeah,
liquid.
It's liquid to amount of caffeine. So how much liquid is there to caffeine? It has to be within that ratio. Red Bull's was the peak. They managed to get in first. Said it was the Red Bull thing. It was Red Bull.
And that's why Monster came out with the bigger cans, so they can put
more
they get away with it. Because they get away with it.
Oh, you can have a 500 ml can, but it means you can have a little bit extra caffeine, but it's still the same ratio. You're just like...
Yeah, the ratio doesn't change. You just increase the volume of
basically,
liquid.
So even the supplements they do use in there, some are going pretty good. I'll give Inspired that. They did a pretty decent can that actually contained I think it was a single dose clinical recommendation of beta-alanine and some taurine. So yeah, that was good.
Didn't the Musashi one that just come out recently or more recently do the same thing? I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be.
I did see one on the back of a bus, but haven't had one yet.
I've got 2 in the fridge.
Any good?
I had one. I didn't like the taste, but I mean that's just me personally. But the actual label isn't too bad.
That's all they really are now, is just flavored energy drinks.
Yeah. Are microwave meals like muscle meals, etc., any good for a diet plan? And best one you found?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. They have their place. I'm really lazy. I don't like to cook. So
you're like, to me, it's a kind of wrong question. Not a wrong question, but it's a misdirected question. It's, does it enhance convenience? Is that going to enhance adherence? And is that going to enhance enjoyment? And can you afford it? So generally, they're in a pretty good ratio breakdown. Sorry, it will be, unless you go get the specific ones for growth, you'll generally get like a 500 to 600 calorie meal, which will be like 40 something protein, 60, 80 carbs, and usually relatively controlled on fats, like 10 to 15, depending on what it is. It's just for me that the portion size is never big. I can make way better meals myself with way less calories.
Well, I guess it's kind of the point depending on the meal, right?
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest with you, some of them taste pretty good. Like,
they're good meals.
Man, you're speaking to an Italian here. The spag bowl from Muscle Meals isn't that bad. Like, it's sweet.
Yeah.
But the macros are pretty friendly for like a pasta dish. Like, they're not bad. So, but yeah, they got some really good ones. Actually, like I used to, when I was dieting down, like that's what I used to diet because I can't fuck talking.
There's still calorie control. Like, again, it's like, if you're going to be inside your deficit, it works. If you're going to be, if you're going to be inside your deficit, if you're going to be adherent to your program, adherent to your nutrition, then fitting one of those in is just fitting in your calories. It's no different.
No, you're not wrong. But yeah, I do quite enjoy them, and I think that they definitely have their place, especially in terms of adherence. How do you program volume for different level clients?
Oh, there are a lot of factors in that. I guess the easiest way to start with is looking at your MEV, depending on client age. Each person as a sort of advance is going to be different. And newbies for a lot of people, newbies don't need 5 days a week with 120 sets. They don't. They just don't. Base it on very simple factors like how many days a week can you do to start off with? How many days you're going to be consistent with to start off with? You can say you want to train 6 days a week, but if you can only get there 4 days a week, there's no point allocating programming over 6 days if we can just get you in there for 4 days doing full body splits.
Yeah, I'm the same. Start at minimal volume, minimal effective of volume, and then from there, add what I need to add, where I need to add it based on feedback like recovery and actual response. So whether that be growth, it should be growth considering we're looking at hypertrophy. So when looking at volume in that way, once we have the minimum volume, effective volume, we can also apply that in a deficit. So it works both ways. It's quite nice. How to mentally overcome eating so much despite being on average amount of calories?
Oh, there's many reasons going on there.
Yeah, so how to mentally overcome it, eating so much, so feeling like you're eating a lot even though you're on an average amount of calories.
So to me, it sounds like you knowingly aren't actually getting that much food in. So there's either a stress blocker or a mental blocker that's inhibiting you from wanting to eat, or you're structuring your day in a way that's making you backload food that you're probably not getting enough food in. So you need to firstly get into the mindset that you are growing. People have this weird problem with flipping, especially going from like diet phase, growth phases, where you're making the alternative food choices, you're swapping foods out, choosing the more voluminous options. Get rid of the dieting mentality and start looking at the fact that this serves a bigger purpose, which is going to be obviously the orientation your program is going to go, your training is going to go. You need to get into the fixation that you need to get the focus that this block is for a reason, and the greater you do in this block is the greater chance or propensity you have to better result down the track. And it obviously serves a place in the key of where it is across your training history, your coaching program, and where it is. You have to understand that that is serving a purpose, and to limit yourself by not consuming food is going to inhibit the ability to grow down the track and get the result you want. So a growth mindset applied here is that I am able to, I am willing to, I want to learn, I want to get better. I've not done this in the past. I'm able to do these things. An ownership mindset here. I need to own the fact that I struggle to eat. So when do I feel the most hungry? How can I induce hunger? What foods am I choosing to enhance the hunger that I do have? How is my training intensity to utilize the food? Am I actually needing as much food as I need so that I'm not feeling shit? So things like actual steps, your training intensity, how hard you're training, your training volume across how many days. What activity are you doing after that? Are you sitting down? Are you just sedentary for most of the time? Where do you eat your meals? And then from that, I would look at stress management. How is your head? Why is your appetite so low? And why is it so hard to get food in that you know is a moderate amount?
Yeah, fair. I'm very fortunate. I'm a really bad person to ask because I am a robot. So it's like, I very rarely feel like maintenance, or I very rarely feel that the concept of average calories is a lot of food. And the only time I would feel that is like Ben had mentioned, is in a stressful state when obviously you're not in a state that digestion is going to happen, I guess unassisted in a sense. So if you have those things figured out and you have all those things, you're doing active steps, you're training hard, you're just you need that food, and you're like, the phase is trying to potentiate growth. I would look at what you were doing for parasympathetic stimulation to allow the body to rest and relax, which is going to enhance metabolic systems and your hunger cues, your digestion, your process of food, because we know cortisol and epinephrine shut down hunger. Exactly
it's
right.
An inverse response to the stress response.
Exactly right.
So
exactly.
That would probably be my bigger issue to address.
Yeah, exactly right. Seminar plans for Brisbane.
We're going to make them.
I mean, we have been speaking about doing maybe a mini seminar for a couple of hours on some hypertrophy and maybe some training, depending on the gym, but I'm waiting for someone to get back to me. And by someone, I mean Ben. So Ben has to organize it all. And I'm happy just to come in and talk hypertrophy and PEDs, because I imagine that's what most people are going to want to ask, to be honest.
How do I get bigger and how do I take drugs?
Yeah. So
in the eyeball, in the tear duct.
Pretty much. And in between the toes. So, I mean, we have spoken about it. So your best bet would be to ask Ben.
The only thing is, like, the facility we've approached, we have to I've got to try and make sure there is actually a place that we can either project something or has a screen to attach to, or
kick it old school and go whiteboard.
Good. If you feel like drawing a bunch of shit.
Not really, but we'll see.
All right, guys, hang on. I need 45 minutes just to draw this. Okay, and that's muscle fiber. It's 2 lines. That's plenty.
Do we buy a projector and put it as a business expense? And we cart it around to every seminar that we're going to do. Like, will that force us to do more seminars?
Yes, it fucking will.
It's like, why are you doing so many seminars? I just spent $1,000 on a projector.
Just get one of those, those ones like, oh god, this will show our age. Those projectors we had in primary schools.
Oh yeah, you put the clear slide.
Yeah, the clear slide on it. And it projects up and forward.
It's even more funny. It's even more funny. So my primary school that I went to, next door, because it was a Catholic school, they had the church attached next to it, right? And in church every Thursday morning, I'm pretty sure it used to be like you'd go to mass for the whole school would go, right? Yeah. And they'd use that type of projector, and it'd go on like one of the walls, and they'd put up like whether it was like which part of the mass it was. So they'd put up like the words, and you're supposed to like read along to one of the prayers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So my nephew had his christening at this same one January, February, or whatever it was,
Please
right,
say
of this year.
thank you.
That projector was still there.
Yes.
It was in the same spot, the
Yes.
exact same one, and still works because they were still using it to put up the lyrics and shit for like the songs and the masses.
How good.
Me and my sister looked at each other. We just died. We're just like, they still have this thing. And it's not that they still have it. It still works.
Yeah, that's the better part.
Like, it's great. Like, that thing would be worth a fortune. Like, I want to steal it and sell it.
Yeah, for sure. That's a novelty item. That's
100%. That's going to be worth a lot of money.
My high school, I know for a fact, because I went back and did who was talking to one of the football programs I ran a couple of years ago. Saw one of my old teachers there. Like, now the computer blocks that we were lucky to get to play like Newgrounds, or like you'd sneak the hack in and you'd like go to one of the reverse servers that could get you onto an international website, and you could play like Newgrounds or Underground, whatever it's called, and play like RPS and like random click games. Those computers were Windows 2000s that we were using in our computer labs, and that was in like the 2008s, 9s. So they weren't even they weren't even up to date then. Now these schools, they get fucking iPads and laptops and
you get an iPad,
digital textbooks and shit. Now it's like everything is just given to you electronically.
You just
use whiteboards.
Use a Kindle. Like, you don't have to cart around textbooks anymore. What is this bullshit? Clubs in yet? No, we're not talking about it. Would you rather everything forever smell like a 2-month-old protein shaker, or everything tastes like Reaper chili? I'd rather stink because I'm not sacrificing my taste. I don't care. You have to deal with me stinking. I don't have to deal with me stinking.
And I can just block my nose until I want to eat something.
So it's like, too bad. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not.
I'm not putting, and also just fuck Reaper chilies.
Is Atomic Fitness natural? Who's that?
You. It's
BRB. Having a look.
It'll be at Stafford, coach.
Let's have a look.
Put it this way, it's been used in someone's bio to describe them. So
natural aesthetics. It's in his own bio. Is he natural? Let's have a look. He's got some good size. He's got very small pecs, big arms, big shoulders.
Typical physique shape.
It's not a bad physique going on right there. Look, it depends on the term that you want to use when we say natural. I probably wouldn't say he's natural when it comes to performance enhancing. What performance enhances, I couldn't probably specify, but judging by the physique, he is quite fucking lean for a long time. Scrolling down, unless he's just using regurgitated photos, which I don't believe he is. He's looking quite big. So that's the 1st of March 2020, and then if I look now, I mean, he hasn't really changed, but maybe a little bit there with a bit of pump. I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna say he's not enhanced. And if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you are, apologies if you actually are, prove it.
Like, see, this is where I have the question. Like, I don't care either way.
It's an opinion. I'm allowed to give my opinion. Like, the thing is, if you actually are natural and someone gives you the opinion, like someone like myself who works in this field and thinks that you're enhanced and you're not, it's a compliment. Good job.
But also, it wouldn't need to be talked about if it wasn't in your bio, because no one cares.
Very, very true.
Let's just get that out clear. No one cares either way, right? Like, no one cares. It's neither good nor bad. It's neither a judgment or an opinion that's right or wrong. It's not a negative against you. It's just that no one cares. It's only when it's brought up in conversation by the person who's trying to either mask it or pretend it's not, that we start to care. No one gives a shit. Do the thing or don't do the thing. But either way, no one wants to talk about it. No one really cares. But does this random person I randomly don't know or hear about use or not use? Well, if you didn't even say anything, I wouldn't give a shit. If you did and it was noticeable, we'd say, cool, you train hard, good on you. You don't, no big deal, you train hard, good on you. When you bring it up and you make it noticeable in the forefront of the conversation, we'll learn to say, he's a dick.
Fair. Why, when I go to bed starving, I wake up not starving?
Why when I go to bed starving, I wake up not starving?
Yes.
Intriguing one.
Well, usually when you're starving, because we do have two different things that cause hunger, one
Correct.
being more mental, one being actually more physiological. So the perception of being hungry, maybe you are hungry, but it depends on what it is that's making you feel hungry.
Yeah.
You've also moved into a, it's funny. When you go to sleep, depending on your routine, the whole point is to wind down and relax.
Yeah,
so you're putting yourself in a state to create these things that actually, facilitate some sort of food and to facilitate digestion, which in turn could produce some sort of hunger signaling. When you wake up, it's the opposite. We actually have cortisol peaking or coming up higher to actually physically wake you up. And as Ben had mentioned previously, cortisol inhibits hunger.
Mm-hmm.
So it inhibits the ability to want to feel like eating.
Yes.
So there's your answer.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not like that. That's why so many people can get away with morning fasting. And I'm not to jump on the IF bandwagon. I do fast when I go through heavy cuts. It just limits my food intake to a period of time where I could eat what I want. Eat larger amounts of what I want in smaller servings. But that's what it is. It's like an easy way. Like mornings are an easy way to fast because there's no real hunger first thing in the morning. You just get away with it.
Exactly. And that is it for the questions today, I believe. I don't think any more have come in since we've been on. No, that is it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So short of me coming up in a couple of weeks to fuck shit up, what else do we have going on that we need to know about?
What else do we have going on? Coaching spots are still open. Just signed another guy potentially doing a prep, so that's really cool. So we're gonna have 2 guys alongside me doing prep for season B. We're gonna have 4 guys, 3 guys and a girl for season B next year. And we're getting them in place now. So like most coaches and most people, obviously the earlier we get to start working together, the better results and better we know to understand the data. The course is coming along nicely for the next one. So just out of pure excitement and enjoyment, I literally have written this I couldn't care. I say that I do care. I couldn't care if literally no one bought this, but writing it has been so fun that I'm having to take myself to bed and stop working because I just get excited. And so I'm right, this it's going to be the most comprehensive, easily digestible, fundamental course to learn to train, understand training terminology, understand how to train, understand your head, understand your mindset going into training, pretty much go from being a nobody to at least an intermediate trainer. Mm-hmm. And I dare say there's probably going to be some people who are advanced trainers who will probably benefit from it. So yeah, I'm having way too much fun just writing it. So that's probably the next thing to come out. The macro course is going, so always use not ISSN if you want to get 75% off. That's just a nice little coupon.
Yeah, what was the code? Sorry,
not capital NOT ISSN.
It's still so funny.
I know. Anyway. It's never not going to be funny. I'm wondering when one of these jokes is going to just backfire on us and get in trouble. But
yeah, fuck it. Future us to deal with.
Yeah, but also it's not a lie. We're not.
Exactly. We're good.
Not claiming to be. Not trying to be. Not pretending affiliation.
Not yet.
Not adding the last minute. Not yeah. Once that nutrition section is done, though. I just want to know what people are going to think when, for literally a tenth of the price of other services, you're literally getting the same. I don't even actually know the price. I'm just making that up, but you're getting a less bullshitty, less drawn out understanding of the basics you actually need to know to start.
Yeah. Well, I guess the other one's probably more tailored towards coaching it versus just being aware of it, right? So yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, it's not trying to
give credit. I'll give credit where credit's due.
That's fair. That is fair.
Very, very, very rare, but I'll do it.
But I think it's going to be a good stepping stone. I think that's the point I try to make is that if you want to train better and you want to know more, save yourself 10 years of wasting time, and you find that you enjoy it, well, the concept's there to then step you up to something else. Like you could go to another course, you could go to uni, go to another school, or whatever. So that's probably like a cool part about it, is like it may facilitate people to actually want to go learn more. In which case I will try and arrange things like affiliations through other businesses that I can guide you to do that. Mm-hmm. But also the fun part for me is getting to do the advanced courses. So I'm going to make that up, like literally just going to smash out shit like advanced neuroanatomy and neuroskeletal muscle systems and stuff like that. Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
You say that now until you get back into the research of neuroanatomy and you're like, oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah, but I love it. I find it so fun.
You will until you start doing it again. Trust me. Everyone does it. I did it. It's not fun.
I want to do it like we got.
It's fun. It's fun until you realize you have to try and make it simple, and it's not fun making that simple.
That's fair.
Yeah, like it's good. It's fun until you like, I have to teach this to people that have no idea. How the fuck do I do that? And then you're like,
a lot of imagery and
yeah.
objective learning techniques.
Pop-up books, picture books.
This is the football. It is technically the stimulant. It goes into the eardrum and passes through the auditory cortex.
Yeah. And that's going to be like the football field. Anyway.
That's how I learned it. That's
honestly a picture book. You could teach neuroanatomy to children. Yep. Business idea, copyrighted today. We've got 2 now. We've got last week's one that we still got to do and this week's one. And by we again, I mean you. And I'm taking 40% because I came up with the idea. Fair's fair.
That's fair.
I come up with the ideas, you do the work. Win-win.
That's fair. I do notice this. Here on the other night, mind you, everyone, Scaffy does not have energy at 9 o'clock at night. I'm randomly sitting down and have my last meal. We're doing a marketing meeting, me in Brooklyn. We're figuring like doing some shit, getting some things done. In comes this message, by the way, XYZ, this is happening. It's not so much of an idea as I'm just telling you, good night, bye. Love you.
Exactly. I was being polite.
Yeah, polite about it. Yeah. It's polite forcefulness.
Exactly. I was just telling you, not giving you the option to what was going on in my brain.
Positive rape of my mind.
Yeah. Were there bad ideas?
No, they weren't.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up.
But did you die?
Exactly right. All right. As always, guys and girls, thank you for tuning in and listening to us talk absolute crap.
Absolute rubbish.
If you want us to talk about anything specifically, please put it in the question box on either my page at Elite Strength Coach or on the Bros with Brains page. Was it at bros_with_brains on a Wednesday morning when we post the question box up, or DM Ben.
Yeah, just do that. Keep pestering Chris too.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye.